Thank you very much, Dr. Daru. I want to say a special good evening to all of you. And I want to thank you for joining us here in St. Joe City. I am, in this election, the only man to move from one city to the next in Dominica. I was part rep of St. Joe City, and now I am in Grand Bay City. I want to say a special good evening to our Prime Minister and all my colleague candidates who are here this evening. In the South, we have it locked down. We have it locked down in the South. From Petit Savan, Soufriere, Grand Bay, Roseau South, we have it locked down. So in the South, we're locked down. And somebody else will talk about the West, moving all the way to Salisbury. Yeah. But, brothers and sisters, boy. My good friend in front there, where is she now? She go, man. Somebody telling me to say, Maho! But this election is like no election we have ever seen. Those of us who have voted before, who have campaigned before, who have participated in elections before, since our independence, we have never seen an opposition party accepting defeat without even putting up a challenge. It is the first time that an election has been called and the opposition party went into hiding. You know, opposition parties are supposed to be governments in waiting. So they're waiting to become the government. They're waiting to become prime minister. They're waiting to become ministers. So they're waiting. But if you're waiting for something, what do you do? If you are waiting for something, what do you do? Exactly, you prepare. So you take your time and you start preparing. But this time the opposition was not prepared. But I want to tell you a little story. Because in 1999, when I came to St. Joe, returning home, because I was invited to serve, I was nominated, or rather selected, by the people of the St. Joseph constituency to be the next candidate. And you remember that at the old school, remember that? That is where we had the elections. And I was selected in November of 1999. And I remember walking throughout this entire constituency, going to places that I'd never been before, going to Bells, to Glogomier, and going throughout the constituency to introduce myself to people. And I remember at the time, we were there preparing, and we even launched Skerrit, you know, a fella from Vickers. You remember him? On my birthday on December 19th, in 1999, in Vickers, we launched Roosevelt Skerrit. And in Maho, my good friend, Rayburn Blackmore decided he was joining us. And we started. Rosie Douglas started recruiting us and preparing. Because when you are an opposition party, you are preparing to be the government. So that's what we did. But I'll tell you something. On December 31st, 1999, the Workers' Party left. I remember they left St. Joe with their Lapo Cabwits, and they went up somewhere in the east. And by the time I heard a loud noise, on January 1st, 2000, I remember Hezron telling me, Hendo, them man call elections. I say, we bon de no deba. Because even if we were preparing, we know they were so strong. Doreen Paul was so strong in St. Joe. Vernice Belloni was so strong in Vickers. We say, we bon de, we can't beat them people there. Because we were just preparing ourselves. We just come in that, you know. We just come. But we work. And you know what we did? we recruited an army of young people in this constituency. Bones, you remember that? You were maybe too young to vote, but you were there. We recruited an army of young people, and we started putting up our flags, getting our piece of red cloth, tying old shoes. Remember that? And then, well, by that time, I had a little training in computer science, so I had liked computers. I started making posters. We were quoting shirt by Crazy T. You remember that? We were quoting shirt by Crazy T, and we had nice people around. Gerard just played music for us every day, every night. We had buses going, hoping that somebody wouldn't give us pressure for their money. And people came together and we built a movement. We built a movement because we were determined to serve our people. And I know at the same time my friend in Vekas, he was also doing the same thing. And by the time the election day came, we won. But I think I want to tell you this, because at the time, I was 28, Skerrit was 27, he's 6 months younger than me. And we as young people were given the opportunity. We were given the opportunity to serve. And now, 22 years later, look at our candidates. Not only young people, but very young people. And they are well-trained people. They are people who've served their communities and people who are now making themselves ready to even serve further. This is what the Dominica Labour Party stands for. A party that is prepared to give young people a chance. Because we believe in our youth. We believe in our young people. We don't take them for granted. But the other party, you know what they did? They took a 38-year-old man and tell him, boy, you're too young. Remember how old Skerrit was when we made him prime minister? We made him prime minister, not just the leader of the party. At a very early age, 31, 32 years. Masley, another fellow from Vekas, is 38 and they're telling him he's too young. By the time you're 38, if you're a sportsman, you're a cricketer, you're ready to retire, 38 is an old man, you're not young again. If you're an athlete, you're a basketballer, you're 38, you're ready, you're ready, you have done your stuff. Not that you can't go still. But the point is, Dominica Labour Party trusts young people. We give them opportunities and we allow them to serve, we allow them to lead, but the UWP doesn't worry about young people. But instead, what they will seek to get young people to do is create destruction. And this is why I'm telling you, this is a very important election. So I want when you leave here tonight and you return to your homes, you return to your constituencies, you must ensure that we are ready tomorrow to vote the Dominica Labour Party in a big way. Because, and I will tell you why it is important that we do that, It is important because we need to send a message. Labor rights, I know you like a good campaign, and for 30 days we really give you a good campaign. We give you enough fat, enough butter, and you enjoyed it. Well, Makamati enjoyed it too. But what we must seek to ensure we do tomorrow is to, once we've voted, we want to make sure that every Labour Party candidate gets a resounding victory so that this will be the end of the UWP. But most importantly, we also want to send a message that we believe in Roosevelt Skerrit as the leader of the Dominica Labour Party. And that Labour is still the best choice for Dominica. So once the day breaks, I won't tell you about bathing or not bathing. I will leave that for somebody else. But we have to ensure that we go to vote early because we have to secure that victory very early. We're not taking any chances. We're not leaving anything to chance because we have to protect our country. That vote tomorrow is to protect Dominica. For peace, prosperity, and to protect our democracy. That's why I want you to take this very seriously, Don't go saying we win already. We must turn out to vote in large numbers because we must do this for Dominica. We must do this for Dominica so that we can get back to work. So that we can continue the good work that we have started for you. We are doing this for you, for your children and generations to come. You have seen what the Labour Party has been able to do in difficult times. And therefore you know that you can always trust us. Because Labour is the stability that Dominica needs in the next 5 years and moving into the future. And this is why, once we ensure that we get a resounding victory, we will continue the work that we started on building a better Dominica. Continuing to build a Dominica that has been ravaged by 2 major natural disasters and COVID. The war in Ukraine continues to affect us. But we are committed to ensuring that we can create opportunities for more employment so that you can have more money in your pocket. Our investment in our international airport is to ensure that we can grow our tourism sector, to ensure that more visitors can come to our shores, to ensure that we can export more of our agricultural produce and any other value-added products. We are doing this to ensure that we can make life better for Dominicans in time to come. We have already made the major investments building world-class hotels. For the first time in our history in Dominica, you know that. We know that. Every time we invited people to Dominica to host regional meetings or international meetings, we never had a place that we would feel proud of. We never had a place that was comfortable enough to host some of our international colleagues. Today, we boast of the Kempinski Hotel, which is a 5-star hotel, a luxury hotel. We have seen in Salisbury, Lincia, in Salisbury, with employment of over 100 people, we are seeing the construction of a new hotel. Another world-class facility when it is done. And in Portsmouth, we see work continues on the construction of the Onichi Resort and Spa. These are investments that have been made to ensure that Dominica can take off, to ensure that people can get more employment with money in their pocket. In the South, in the South, we have one of the luxurious, eco-friendly hotels in the world at Jungle Bay. We have employment, and I know a lot of us from Grand Bay are working at Jungle Bay. That is an investment that your government has participated in. And in the Roseau Valley, Dr. Mack, soon you will have the Rainforest Spa and Resort. So your government is working. Your government is working to make these investments to ensure that people can get employed so that we can create better opportunities for our people. But we have to keep saying that because sometimes when the time comes to vote, some of us are reluctant. Some of us forget that we're voting to ensure that we have the NEP. And by the way, where's my NEP coordinator now? Supervisor. Sorry, but in Grand Bay we have the best NEP team, you know. We are voting to ensure that the thousands of people who continue to benefit from the NEP, and in Tetmon, boy, I almost end up in trouble. I forget Tetmon. Tetmon has the best NEP team too. So both of them are the best. But we are voting to ensure that we can continue having opportunities. We are voting to ensure that Dominica is a stable country that continues to grow. And this is why tomorrow, when we wake up, we're going to vote for the Dominica Labour Party. But before I depart from the podium, we're in St. Joe. And St. Joe has, would say, the ability of selecting some young men. They pick us up young, They don't give us chance. So they took me at 28, and now we bring in Darren. We bring in Darren, who is even younger than when I started. And Darren is going places. I have seen him. I have worked with him for the past 28 days, and I am proud to be a St. Joe man with him. Because Darren really embraces the opportunity to serve his people. And that, to me, is one of the best things you can have in a member of parliament. But he's a man of humility. You see, he looking like a tall fella, but he's very soft-spoken, although he speaks a little loud on the stage. But when you talk to him, you will see the gentleness of this guy. And I have no doubt that once you give Darren the confidence with the vote that he deserves, a big victory in St. Joe, he will have the confidence to go forward and serve you to the best of his ability. So tonight, I beg all of you in St. Joseph constituency, those of you who are hearing my voice, I urge you to give Darren even more support than you gave to us before. Because Darren is going places and St. Joe is going places. Labor rights! Labor rights! Are you ready to vote? Are you ready to vote? So as soon as we leave here, we're going home, we're going to sleep, to wake up early so that we can vote, so that by lunchtime, we have our victory secured for the Dominica Labour Party. Good night. Good night.